staff members, myself, Dr. McCready, Ms. Bales here at the front table. We're going to start off with Ms. Nalencia Merriweather. Ms. Merriweather, how are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you all?
Doing well, doing well. I'm going to tell you just a couple things about who you're speaking with and kind of how this process works. Here at the front table, on that side of the table, these are all pharmacy board members. They're here. They're the decision makers here today for your application. On the other side, we are here as staff members for the board. Whatever they basically direct us to do, we follow through with doing whatever they've asked. We're here today. You have a pharmacy technician application that you did let us know a couple things would come back on. So thank you for letting us know that. And the board members are going to want to talk to you about that in just a minute. I'll turn it over to Ms. Bales, which will give the board members an overview. And they are just now with their pads looking at the same application that you have in front of you. At the end of your discussion, at some point, they're going to make a decision on what they want to do with it. They could say they would like to approve it, deny it, hold it for some period of time, ask you for something else. We don't know exactly what they'll come up with until they do. Most importantly, though, since it's an informal conference, you can either agree or disagree with what they say. If you agree with it, we go forth with whatever they've asked us to do. And in that process, if you disagree, it's kind of your chance to either say, forget this and walk away, or to request a hearing before the full board at a later date. The full board is all 8 board members, and it's a little bit more formal process, similar to going to court, where everyone gets sworn in, and we have a court reporter and a hearing officer, and it's just a little bit more of an official procedure than this. So I always ask, do you have any questions about why you're here today or how this works?
I don't believe so.
Okay. At any point during this, if you do have a question, by all means, wave your hands, get our attention, interrupt us, whatever you need to do. We'll try to help answer any questions that you have.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'll turn over to Ms. Bales.
Committee members, we brought Ms. Merriweather in for a hearing this morning. She did disclose that she had some things on her record that were expunged or sealed. Some things from 2013 that took a little while to take care of. On August 13, 2013, she was charged with domestic battery. Charges were reduced from a felony to a Class A misdemeanor. She was sentenced to 12 months probation and $1,500 fine and court costs. On July 14, 2014, she was charged with felony failure to appear after missing court on that domestic battery charge. At that time, it was a felony. She was sentenced to 36 months probation and $250 fine and court costs. On July 13, 2013, she was charged with theft of property. It was reduced to a Class A misdemeanor. She was sentenced to 12 months probation, fine, and court costs. She initially did not complete probation successfully. She was accused of smoking marijuana while on probation and missing meetings with her probation officer. On February 6, 2024, she was charged with criminal contempt in order to turn herself in on the warrant. She paid a cash bond to get out of jail, and that was forfeited to pay off the remainder of her fines and court costs.
Great, thank you. It seemed like you had like a little cluster of things that happened like within the period of a year.
Yes.
So you want to tell us in your own words what happened?
Yes, ma'am. During the year, the battery charge, it was with my first son's father. We had an altercation. He buzzed my window. He cut his forearm, and he told law enforcement that I cut his arm, and I ended up going to jail because I did have something sharp, and I popped his tires, but that's what happened with that. And I felt like that was wrong, so it took me years to come to agreement to take care of it. So that's why it's such a large gap.
Okay, and what about July 31st of 13, and then we go to July 14th of 14?
Okay, with that, like I said, I didn't comply because I feel like that I was done wrong. So the 36-month time, I never did it. Like, I didn't comply. I just took care of it, I think, in 2021 with probation. I finished probation in 2021 for that.
Okay, and what about the theft of property charges?
That was in 2013. I caught that charge right after the battery charge with my child's father. And I took a family member and her sister to go school shopping, and they were stealing. And of course, I'm going to get in trouble too because I took you all down there, and that's what happened with that. So.
Okay, we're going to fast forward then up until now. And you want to be a pharmacy technician. Tell me about that, please, ma'am.
Well, now, I mean, it's taken me a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to do and what type of career, I wanted to go in. At first, it was teaching, but, I learned that they don't get paid too much. And I started working at Walgreens for a little while. And I experienced the pharmacy one day, and I liked the experience. And I put in an application, and they denied it. I didn't know that you could come to the board. So I just came back to try it again, and now I'm here.
Okay. Great. Does anyone else have any questions of this candidate?
Are all of your court costs taken care of? Do you still owe the court anything?
I don't owe them anything. It's expunged and sealed.
Okay. So I guess you violated your probation, or they said you violated your probation for smoking marijuana. Have you smoked marijuana in the past?
In the past, yes.
Okay. Do you still?
No.
When was the last time you smoked marijuana?
Probably a year ago.
Okay.
When was the marijuana used? Whatever the issue was with probation.
When was it? Like the year? It was in 14 or 13. I do not. Correct. I do understand it. Yes.
Boone, you have any questions? What is the will of the board?
I'd make a motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I get a second? I don't know, does her company require drug tests before hiring technicians?
Well, once you get a license, you could go anywhere, so it wouldn't be tied to just one
True,
company.
true.
Only because of the reason.
Can we put that as part of her order?
Say that you could put in a clause that staff could approve her application after a scheduled and clear drug screen.
Good, thank you.
What time frame do you want that drug test? Do you want it between now and 24 hours, or do you want it?
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with the special stipulations. Any further discussion? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
The motion passes. Okay, did you hear that you need to go do a drug test before
Yes,
you can be
ma'am.
approved? Okay.
So we'll have to make a phone call probably during our lunch break to schedule that and make sure that we have Miss Meriwether's phone number to let her know. Ms. Meriwether, we would try to schedule one. It would be here in Little Rock. They do charge you a fee to do that as well. And I don't know if it's check, credit card, exactly how it is, but we'll set one up for you and call you with the information of where to go.
Okay. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you and good luck.
So for board members, staff actually had a request to review a potential new software system for a pharmacy, which we did a week and a half ago. It's a company called DRX. Anytime we have a new system like that, what we generally do is have a staff review of it. If there were any concerns or anything, we would request them to come before the board for board full approval. We did not have any issues with this system. It actually looked like it sounds like you've probably heard of it. It sounds like a really good system that I think we've got several pharmacies looking at. But with that, we have to get board approval for the system. I actually have a couple links if you want to look at it during a break, the functionality. But I think that Dr. McCready and I would both tell you we were impressed with the functionality of the system, including on home screen, to be able to look at, all your prescriptions and see what status they were in for payment, fill status, refills, any hangups or anything like that. Yes, it's
The pharmacy information
Yeah.
system.
This one was actually built directly by pharmacists from the get-go that were trying to find functionality that they did not see in other offerings, and it's grown to where it's being used in like 40 states now.
You just need a motion.
Just
to
need a
approve.
motion to approve.
I mean, if you guys have vetted it, you're comfortable with functionality, I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor of that motion? Signify by saying aye.
All right.
Any nays? Motion passes.
Thank you, guys. We will let them know. And Counselor, who do we have?
Destiny Hunt, she's under tab 3.
3. Ms. Hunt, how are you doing?
Good, and you?
Doing pretty well. I'm John Kirtley. I'm the director of the pharmacy board. I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of who you're talking to and a couple things about our procedure here. On this side of the table, to my left and your right, these are 4 of our pharmacy board members that are decision makers here for you today. We've got Dr. Clint Boone, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's the chair of our informal committee, Dr. Brian Jolly, and Dr. Rodney Richmond. On the other side, we are 3 staff members that are employees here at the Board of Pharmacy. In a moment, I'll turn over to our attorney, Ms. Vales, and she'll just give the board members an overview of your application. We see that you applied for a pharmacy technician permit, and you told us nothing was going to come back, but we did find some stuff that the board members will have to talk to you about. At some point during this, they're going to tell us what they would like to do. Since it's an informal conference, you can either agree or disagree with that. If you agree with it, we go forth with whatever instructions they have given us. If you disagree, you kind of have a choice to either say, forget this and walk away, or to request a hearing before the full board at a later date, which is all 8 members of the pharmacy board, court reporter, a hearing officer, and it's a little bit more formal procedure where everybody gets sworn in. Looks a little bit more like going to court. So I always ask you, do you have any questions about why you're here or how this works?
No, sir.
Okay, if at any point during this you do have a question, by all means, please ask it to us. We'll do our best to help answer any questions you have. Ms. Bales?
We brought Ms. Hunt in for consideration today. She had some things come up on her background check, and she did not disclose that anything would come back on her background check. But on November 19th, 2024, she was arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance, Schedule 4. On June 3rd, 2025, she entered a no contest plea and was sentenced to a civil penalty of $840, and the matter would be deferred. She submitted receipts showing payments totaling $490 with her application. And then on March 4th, 2025, she was charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor for missing a court date, but that was dismissed.
Okay. You want to tell us in your own words what happened?
Yes, ma'am. The night into the court date, The night of the stop, I did get pulled over because my tags were suspended. I still had paper tags at the time. Upon the stop, she splashed her light into, the front seat and the back seat, and she found an empty bag. She then asked, I was with my boyfriend, he's disabled, so I had to step out the car and step out the police car. She then searched the whole vehicle and she found an empty bag. Upon that search, she asked me, whose vehicle is this? I said, it is mine. She said, since this is your vehicle, you will be charged with this. And I said, okay.
Okay. And what happened from there?
From there, we went to the police station. I took my picture. They got my fingerprints. I think did a little paperwork, and then I was released.
Okay, so they didn't hold you or anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So how long did it take you to get all the fines and everything taken care of?
I honestly, because I was recently hired at Walgreens on Main Street down here as a pharmacy technician, but I ended up getting fired because I didn't have my pharmacy license and I can't work with medicines without it. So, and that's sort of like, I really just lost train of thought. I'm sorry.
Did you pay, so when you submitted your applications, it looked like you paid down about half?
There was
Did you pay all of it since then or no?
to the my Mail County clerk. They said that I have no receipts of paying anything, and I had to go back home, bring my receipts and everything. And once I did, he told me the rest of my fines, and I paid it. He said that was that. I have constantly been contacting them, asking like, what are the other fines coming from? Because he told me directly in my face as I paid them fines and showed my receipt when I brought them here that there was all my fines and that I would pay them all.
Okay, because I'm showing the court records show $840.
Yes, ma'am.
And then when you submitted your application, you sent showing about 490. So there's a difference there, but you're saying you don't owe them or that you don't know about?
I said I don't owe them.
Okay.
Even he said I wasn't in the system at all showing that I paid anything. And I did pay when I attended my court date.
Okay.
So on your expired paper tags, they didn't hold your car?
No, sir.
Have you got regular tags on it now?
Yes, sir.
I know sometimes if you have an expired paper tag and you haven't paid your taxes, they'll impound your car. So it's a mess.
That stayed in my mail and she was willing to let someone come get the car with a driver license.
Okay.
So currently everything is clear or not clear?
Everything should be clear on my end. That's what the clerk told me, that I paid all my fines. I have my receipts and stuff as well.
What does the deferred mean, actually?
Well, if you look, this is kind of weird. Haven't seen this a lot, but they charged her a civil penalty, and she paid it off and didn't get in trouble. She was supposed to pay it off within 30 days, and then they would dismiss the case. But like I said, it's kind of unclear. It's looking in the Court Connect system as it was deferred, and then it's unclear because of the receipt issue whether or not it's completely done or not. But do you have more receipts than what you gave us?
No, ma'am, my last receipt was the recent one that I brought up here, and that's when he told me that I have nothing else. Because on the failure to appear, it was like a $295, but I never missed court. And when I did go to court, they were saying that's when they brought up the possession of controlled substance. Everything happened that same day. So when I first attended my court date, the possession of controlled substance wasn't brought up, and I didn't have another court date. So when I got that in the mail saying to be there June 2nd, I went.
Okay.
That's when they said that.
Well, that's my best answer, Dr. Boone.
So I'm unclear on what the controlled substance was because you said an empty bag,
Mm-hmm.
but they charged you with possession of a controlled substance. So, you said in your statement that it might have been somebody else's. So
It belongs to my mother-in-law. She has been staying with me and my boyfriend since 2022.
your mother-in-law?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did they tell you what the substance was?
No, sir.
Okay. So why did you mark no on your application when it asked if you'd been cited, arrested, or charged with or convicted of a criminal offense other than just a minor traffic violation?
I wasn't aware that it was a criminal offense. Not to say that I had went through the background process with Walgreens, so I honestly didn't know because I did all that beforehand.
I have a question. Did you say earlier you had a boyfriend
Yes, ma'am.
and you have a mother-in-law?
Yes, ma'am. Me and my boyfriend, we have been together since high school.
Or she's not actually legally your mother-in-law?
No.
I wondered when you said you had a mother-in-law. and
Oh,
boyfriend.
no, I'm not married. I'm sorry.
Um,
How long did you work at Walgreens?
I got hired August 28th and they fired me September 24th.
This year?
Yes,
Or,
sir.
yeah, 2025. Why do you want to be a pharmacy tech?
Because it'll be different. I've never got to experience that. And being in that field, I did like it, like everything that I did get to learn without being hands-on. And I honestly wanted to learn more. And just to have something other like another certificate on my background.
So what are you currently doing?
I'm currently not doing nothing at the moment. I am looking for a job as of now.
Okay.
What have you done? What have you done since graduating high school? You loaded up your diploma. What types of jobs have you had since you graduated?
My first like real job, I was working at Maybelline L'Oreal. Then I was working there for a couple months. Then I went to Amazon for a year and 6 months.
Okay.
And after that, it was just like through temp service, like I was still in the warehouse. And then I kept going back to Amazon in that store.
So mainly with Amazon?
I've been there 3 times.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
I would make a motion to approve. Dr. McCready mentioned something about getting a letter from the, I guess, the court that everything was clear. Is that something we would want to put in the motion to receive that before we formally approve? Or
Generally, you want to know there's nothing outstanding, because if they tell her that there's nothing outstanding, but they don't clear it out of their computer, they're going to wind up giving her another charge, which would be complicating for us. So we would just request a letter from the court that all fines, fees are paid and there's nothing pending.
okay, well, I'll add that to my motion to approve pending receipt of that documentation.
So I just do have one question before we,
Go ahead.
the failure to appear, was that related to the same charge?
Yes, they were saying it was a failure to appear because I didn't pay on the fine when I went to court. That's what I asked the judge because I was like, I never missed court.
So it's all related to the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Have a motion on the floor. Do I get a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second with special stipulations. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion passes. Are you happy?
Yes, I'm confused on what's going on.
Okay.
So Ashley,
I'll get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, Ms. Bales will explain it to you.
And I would like to also welcome Dr. Pruchet
Good luck.
to our meeting.
Thank you.
Morning.
I'm going to plenty of paper, that's all.
Good morning. I'm wonderful. How about you guys?
How you doing, Ms. Bridges?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm John Kirtley. I'm the director of the Board of Pharmacy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit kind of who you're talking to this morning and how this process works. On that side of the table, these are 5 of our pharmacy board members, starting at the far end, Dr. Lynn Frouche, Dr. Rodney Richmond, Dr. Brian Jolly, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's the chair of our informal conference, and Dr. Clint Boone. On this side, myself, Dr. Brenda McCready, Ms. Ashley Bells, we're staff members here in the board offices. We're here today to discuss your pharmacy technician application. And on it, you told us that nothing was going to come back, but we did find some stuff the board members will want to talk to you about here in just a moment. After Ms. Bales gives an overview and they talk with you for a little bit, at some point they're going to make a suggestion for what they would like to do. And whatever they come up with, since it's an informal conference, you could either agree or disagree with. If you agree with it, we go forth with whatever they've asked us to do. If you disagree, then it's kind of your choice to either say, forget this and walk away, or to request a full hearing before the board at a later date. The full hearing will be all 8 members of the Board of Pharmacy, a hearing officer, a court reporter. Everybody gets sworn in, and it's just a more formal procedure similar to going to court. So I always ask, do you have any questions about how this works? Okay, at any point during this, if you do, by all means, get our attention, wave your hands. We'll try to help answer any questions you got.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Bales?
We brought Ms. Bridges in. This is a reinstatement application. She was previously a registered pharmacy technician from March 5th, 2017 to December 31st, 2024. She was arrested, according to her background check, on July 13th, 2020 for criminal trespass and domestic battery, Class A misdemeanors. And she was also served with a warrant for contempt of court for not abiding by court orders to pay fines. She entered pleas of not guilty on September 9, 2020. The charges were null proster dropped on March 9, 2022. She didn't disclose that arrest on any of her subsequent new renewal applications that happened after her arrest, and she didn't disclose it on this reinstatement application. So that's why we brought her in for the consideration.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell us a little bit about these charges, please?
Yes, ma'am. When I got arrested for the domestic battery and criminal trespass, I was in a domestic relationship and we lived on the 2nd floor, and the commotion from us, getting into it, and I was being choked at the time. So I was like stomping. They called the police, and Sherwood police came, and I wasn't on the lease. So that's why I got the criminal trespass, because it wasn't my residence. It was his residence. So they charged me with that. And then the domestic battery, he had a scratch, I had a scratch. So then when we went to court, all the evidence was brought upon, and he kind of showed them messages and everything where I came to just gather my things and leave, but he didn't want me to go. They kind of dropped everything, and I went to counseling, and we still no longer have any conversations or talking or anything. The speeding ticket was the failure to pay the fines. I got a speeding ticket while taking my children to school. At the time, I was an active military wife, so I did go back and forth from Arkansas into Texas. So I was in Texas at the time when they was served, like the paperwork and everything. And so I didn't get it and didn't pay the fines. But once I did get a hold to it, I made all the payments, and it was honestly just a lack of me not making payments on time and just going through with life of a military wife, 3 children, and trying to be stable.
Okay, so all of your fines have been reconciled?
Yes, ma'am. Everything is, I don't have any tickets and anything open. I've not got a speeding ticket after that. Learned my lesson. No rushing to school in the school zone.
So what have you been doing for the past year? You haven't been a pharmacy technician?
Yes, ma'am. So I just came back to Arkansas. I was in Dallas, Texas. I moved back once my divorce was finalized and everything from my ex-husband in the military. And I'm still doing pharmacy work, but I'm not a tech. I do data entry for Cover My Meds for America Pharmacy, and I work remotely. My job is based out of Dallas, so they don't really, I guess, say I have to have my tech license because I'm not physically doing any tech work. I just look over prescriptions and get the PAs for the pharmacists. And I'm also still in school. I'm going to STEPFL to get certified. But I know in the end of my step 4 program, I have to do like the clinical part where I would have to go into a pharmacy of my choice or whatever they pick. So that's another reason why I'm trying to move forward. And of course, I do take full accountability for what happened. I'm not saying it did not happen. I did misunderstand it when they said, like, was I charged or anything? I wasn't physically charged, I felt, because they let it go. Like, they said, okay, the case was dismissed. So honestly, that's why I did say no. It wasn't like I'm trying to hide it or anything, because I knew it happened. I just wasn't charged and I was the victim in it. So I didn't, of course, say, yeah, I went to jail and I got charged. So there was honestly a misunderstanding on my part on that. But I do understand, from the wording of it.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone else have any questions of this candidate?
So you were arrested.
Yes, sir.
The question reads, have you ever been cited, arrested?
Yes, sir. I was just feeling because of like the charges didn't stick to me. So that was just misunderstanding on my end, not, on the worded document. That's why I said once I went back and reread it, I did understand like, okay, I kind of got it. And I kind of called and I spoke to someone and asked, kind of for clarification, because I was like, I wasn't charged, none of that. So I did get arrested, yes, because in Arkansas, like they stated, if something happens between two people, it is a domestic, both of us went to jail, no matter what it was. So I did get arrested, yes, sir.
What's the verbiage on renewal? Is it the same as application? So I think to Dr. Richmond's point, you misinterpreted that question. If I'm putting together the number of times that you probably renewed plus your reapplication 3 times.
Okay.
Twice on renewal and once on reinstatement, this current application. That makes sense?
I'm sorry.
I just said, does it make sense? What my point?
Yes, yes, sir.
It does say, have you ever been arrested?
Yes.
Then it goes on to say, charged. You're saying I wasn't charged,
Yes, sir.
but the arrest would come before the charge. How did we find out?
Reinstatement application with a background check. Anytime you have a reinstatement, we have to redo that process.
Gotcha.
Any other discussion? What is the will of the board?
I'm just going to throw something out here. I've got no issues with Ms. Bridges being a pharmacy technician. It does concern me that twice on a renewal of an application, we got false information back. And I feel like there needs to be, again, this is just my thoughts. There needs to be some type of consequence for that, like a $250 investigative fee or something like that, because I mean that to me is concerning, because we're dependent on people marking that as true, and when we don't get that, and then we have to rely on, theoretically, if she would have never let her technician license lapsed, we would have never found out about that. So I understand we hear that all the time, that I didn't understand the question. But I just feel like there needs to be some type of, and I don't want to be too egregious or heavy-handed with this, but I feel like there needs to be some type of consequence when we find this out. So my proposal would be, and I can put it in a motion, I don't want to do that in case there's other discussion. My proposal would be to approve pending the payment of a $250 investigative cost assessment.
And I would tend to agree with that assessment, because probably half of the things that we hear is because somebody didn't acknowledge that they had it. And it's important. It's important that we underscore that you got to read what the sentence says. Because on a prescription, they put everything on there for a reason. And if you misinterpret it, then that can be problematic. So there needs to be an eye for detail and be able to identify and understand a sentence that is plainly says, have you ever been arrested? The answer to that is yes.
Any other comments? So was that a motion and a second?
I'll make the motion to approve, but I think we should also levy a $250 investigative cost. And then once that's paid, we will reissue the pharmacy registration permit.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Dr. Frishay, any comments? Dr. Boone, any comments? Okay. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion passes. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Practicing in Arkansas now?
Yes, sir. I plan to stay in Arkansas. I don't want to go back to Texas. I like it, but Arkansas is more calm.
All right.
And not expensive. Have a wonderful day.
About that. Oh, my. Well, we didn't think of that before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
It's right over. And I'm like, he's snippers, and it's like a cold air slave. I'm prepared right there.
Yeah,
Yes, and I gotta tell you, I got this sweater right there.
it is a little cooler in here today. It was
I
warm when we
want
first
to
started.
Marco to say this, that I am tired of people misinterpreting that question. And I think we need to consider, I don't want to keep from approving permits necessarily because of that. We know those are based on the individual situations, but that question could not be any more specific.
No, we've clarified it many times.
And we are,
We're killing a bunch of time
Killing a
with
bunch
stuff
of time
that
on
staff would be able to listen.
Good morning.
All right, tab number 4. How are you doing this morning, Ms. Sanders? Doing well. I'm John Kirtley. I'm the director of the pharmacy board. I'm going to tell you who you're speaking with this morning. On this side of the table, these are all board members here for us. They're decision makers for you today. Starting at the end with Dr. Lynn Fruchet, Dr. Rodney Richmond, Dr. Brian Jolly, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's the chair of our informal conference, and Dr. Clint Boone. On the other side, myself, Dr. Brendan McCready, who's our assistant director, Miss Ashley Vales. We're all staff members here at the Board of Pharmacy. Miss Vales is our attorney and legal counsel. We're here this morning. Let me make sure this works for me as well. Based on your pharmacy technician application, on your application, you did let us know that some stuff would come back. So thank you for letting us know that.
Yes, sir.
And after Ms. Vales gives the board an overview of what was in your application, the board members are sitting here looking at it on their little devices. They'll have a discussion with you about your application. At some point, they'll come up with some decision of what they would like to do with it.
Okay.
It could be to approve it. It could be to deny it. It could be to table a decision. It could be to offer you the chance to withdraw. Whatever they decide, though, since it's an informal, you can either agree or disagree with. So if it's something you like, it's fine. We go forth and do whatever the board has asked us to. If it's something else, you kind of have the decision at that point to either say, forget this and walk away from it, or to request a hearing before the full board at a later date to appeal the decision of the informal committee. Full board is these 5 members plus 3 more, a hearing officer, a court reporter, everybody gets sworn in, and it's just a more formal procedure than this, much more like going to court.
Okay.
So I was asked, do you have any questions about why you're here today or how this works?
I mean, I understand. I get
Okay.
it. Yeah, I get it.
Well,
Monthly.
at any point during this, if you do have a question or want some clarification, by all means, get our attention, ask any questions you have. We'll do our best to help answer them. Okay, Ms. Fales?
We brought Ms. Sanders in for consideration this morning. She did disclose that there would be something on her background check. On November 6, 2016, she was arrested for breaking or entering a Class D felony. She was found inside of a business attempting to steal clothes that had been donated to the business. She entered a plea of guilty and was sentenced to 24 months probation and $750 fine and court costs. And then on November 22nd, 2019, she was arrested for shoplifting, a Class A misdemeanor. She entered a plea of guilty and was sentenced to $750 fine and court costs, which have been paid.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. You want to tell us about what was going on in your life at that point?
Well, I was just, in all honesty, I was on a lot of drugs and just hanging out with bad crew and just bad people. I fell in love with a really bad person, so I was doing whatever he wanted me to do with him. That's basically it. And then the shoplifting charge, I got caught with somebody shoplifting, but it was all in the same cart, so I just pled guilty and paid my stuff, and I don't even talk to those people no more. I've been in recovery. Well, I wouldn't say recovery because I haven't relapsed not once. I haven't been back to drugs in over 8 years. Yeah.
Okay, what kind of drugs were you?
I was on a lot of hard stuff then, so I was all wacky back then.
What do you call the hard stuff?
I was on methamphetamines. But like I said, I've been sober for over 8 years now. I've got 3 kids. All I do is work and stay at home. I work 2 jobs, if not 3 if I can.
Okay, did you go through a treatment program or?
No,
you
ma'am,
quit cold turkey.
Well, I quit cold turkey. I quit. I haven't went back, haven't relapsed, haven't done anything since. I don't smoke nothing. I don't do anything. I just work as much as possible and take care of my kids.
And what type of work are you doing?
Right now, I am a supervisor for the custodians at night at the schools in Sheridan. I live in Sheridan. And then I just do fast food during the day. So.
Well, why be a pharmacy technician? What brings you
I
to
don't know,
pharmacy?
DHS, I got food stamps and everything, and they called me up one day and they're like, yeah, we got such and such classes going on. And the only one that really stuck out was CNA and pharmacy to me. But I've already worked in a nursing home and I didn't think I could do it, but the emotional to connect with all that, with being like short staffed and stuff, I wouldn't think that I could handle it emotionally because I'd be crying, patients I would just be too connected. So I chose pharmacy. And then I didn't think I was going to be able to do it because I wasn't good at math when I was in school. But like the first week, she's like, you got this. And I got it. And I aced it. And so ever since then, I've been really, really excited. So hopefully.
And what was that program through? It was through
It was
DHS?
the AECC, Arkansas Employment Career Center.
Okay.
Yeah. And they paid for everything, paid for the classes and everything. When they called me, I've been waiting on an opportunity like that anyway. Because like I said, I'm a single mom of 3 kids, so I couldn't pay for it out of my pocket. So when they were like, yeah, we're paying for the classes. Yes, sign me up. I'm there. And went the same day to sign up. So.
Well, I admire your honesty. And I noticed on your application, you also were forthcoming with that you had been arrested or cited or charged with something. So appreciate you being forthcoming on that. And congratulations on your sobriety as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of myself. I'm doing great.
Anybody else have any comments?
I'll make a motion. We grant her a permit.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes.
I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay, who did you bring with you?
That's my mom.
Hi, Mom. How are you doing? Thanks for being there to support her. Mhm. Mhm.
You guys have got the best combination eyewear I've seen.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. See little, what we got to walk of. I love it.
I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
think you'll do well.
I think so too. Thank you.
Bales lined up out there.
Any other discussion items?
Yeah, this afternoon, we will have someone Zoom in. We've got a rural area of the state that's requesting a pickup station with a new clinic that's opening up. It should meet all criteria. The only thing that we had any question about was, I think they were wanting to put pickup boxes, and we've already explained, like, we don't do like lock boxes or anything like that. It has to be a clinic that's actually open to deliver the medications to folks. So, but it should be I think a pretty quick conversation for that as well. We've got it scheduled for 3:45.
Did we get the dates from our, February meeting down there?
We had tentative dates for February. I know that Ashley had that on her calendar, and I think that what we had said is it was going to be the 10th and 11th. And that we had for February 10th and 11th. So unless there were any other gripes on that, our fellow, staff members had asked us to firm that up for sure.
It would traditionally be the second Tuesday or Wednesday.
I think every time we try, early in my tenure here, every time we tried to change it, we changed it to a snowstorm. Like it was, and it would be like, well, that's, it would be Valentine's Day or something. And Bob Dufour, who's on the board years ago, is like, we shouldn't have a board meeting on Valentine's Day. And we change it and it'd be like the following week. It's like, well, we'll put it later for the weather. Well, it was worse weather like 3 times in a row when we did that. March. Yeah, it is. But if that's okay with all you guys, that we'll firm that up with staff. I know.
Yes. It's pretty good.
We're not going to have the Farmer's Almanac next year to rely on. They're going to quit. They're quit making it after 100 and how many years? Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that on the radio 3 or 4 times, and I'm sitting there going, I need to go buy one for my, at some point grandkids to be able to see what it is. It's an interesting read always. Absolutely. Okay, we've got a little break if you guys want to hop off your coffee or anything. We'll be back shortly. What? Yeah, that's probably easiest because we got a ton of people. Ms. Worthen, how are you doing this morning?
Pretty good.
I'm John Kirtley. I'm the Director of the Board of Pharmacy, and I'm going to tell you kind of who you're speaking with this morning and a couple things about this process. On this side of the table, we have 5 of our pharmacy board members. Starting at the end, Dr. Lynn Fruchet, Dr. Rodney Richmond, Dr. Brian Jolly, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's our chair of the Informal Conference, and Dr. Clint Boone. On this side, we have 3 of us that are staff members here at the board that work in the offices full-time. Myself, Dr. McCready, who's our assistant director, and Ms. Vales, who is our legal counsel. We're here today on your application to be a pharmacy technician in the state of Arkansas. And on that, I'm trying to think. You did let us know that something would come out. There it is on page 6. That the board members are just now getting a copy of your application similar to what you have. In this process, I'll turn to Ms. Vales. She'll give an overview of what we kind of had found with the board members. And at some point, they're going to want to make some decision on what they would like to do with your application. Could be to approve it, to deny it, to table it, to say they'll reconsider it sometime. We don't know what they'll say until they come up with it. Because it's an informal conference, you get the chance to kind of either agree or disagree with whatever they come up with. If you agree with it, we go forth with whatever they've asked us to do. If you decide you don't want to agree with it, it gives you the chance to either say, forget this, walk away, or to request a formal hearing before the full board at a later date. And that would be these 5 members plus 3 more. That is just a more formal procedure where you have a hearing officer, a court reporter. We swear everybody in as witnesses. It looks a lot more like going to court. So I always ask, do you have any questions about how this works? Okay, with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Vales.
And we brought Ms. Worthen in for consideration this morning. She did disclose on her application that there would be something on her background check. And on November 29, 2023, she was arrested on traffic violations and possession of controlled substance marijuana, a misdemeanor charge. On February 26, 2024, she was sentenced to 1 year probation with monthly reporting and random drug screens, complete an ACTS class, and a $500 fine and court cost. She failed drug screens on August 20th, 2023. September 23rd, 2024, and October 9th, 2024, and she was ultimately released from probation on February 19th, 2025.
Good morning. You want to tell us about all of this?
Yes, ma'am. I got into a car accident. I had my blunt in the car. They found it, and I did the probation, went to the monthly checkups, and paid all the fees and stuff. Trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Okay, yeah, my concerns are, it's one thing, having the drugs found in your vehicle, but it's another thing where you had some failures here. So why did you keep having failures after you've been caught? In other words, why did you keep smoking?
I wasn't smoking. I was around people that was. I stopped smoking.
So you still around people that smoke? I'm asking because I don't know, but when I walk through the front of our office, it smells like marijuana to me today. Is that because you're around people that smoke?
Everyone around me smokes. Literally.
So when you're on probation, usually you have to take a urine test. So for drugs to be in your urine, you didn't smoke them? So were you how often are you spending times with people that do smoke marijuana?
Like 90% of my day.
Okay.
And why do you want to be a pharmacy technician then?
Do something, make a career for myself. Help people.
I know I'm not here as an expert, but having been qualified in courts around the country and specifically on marijuana, studies have shown that people who are exposed to passive marijuana do not test positive for drug tests.
I mean, you'd have to be in like an enclosed car or something is what they generally talk about, basically a hot box situation.
It'd be like 20 potheads in a telephone booth and you got one person who's not smoking. I mean, the study really was in a VW van.
Yeah.
And there were 8 people who were smoking and 1 person who was not. And they tested that person to show, that's the one study that people quote that say that you can have test positive for marijuana, but essentially if you're in that closed an environment for the period of time that they were, you're smoking anyway.
Yeah.
So the conventional wisdom is that a positive drug test generally does not yield from passive exposure. You have a medical marijuana card? When's the last time you smoked?
About 2-3 days ago.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we do not give this person a permit or either allow them to revoke their application.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion?
We want to ask her if she just wants to revoke the application.
Well, and what they're saying is they would like to give you the opportunity to withdraw your application. If you wanted to withdraw it, they would not necessarily deny it. But if you choose not to withdraw it, they're going to deny your application, which could affect you later by saying, yes, I had an application denied by the pharmacy board. The biggest thing is because federally marijuana is a Schedule I drug, and even in the marijuana acts for the state of Arkansas, there's carve outs for if you're in a security or sensitive position. So if you're dealing with prescription drugs, controlled substances, working in a pharmacy, there's a conflict with the use of marijuana or medical marijuana. So they're basically asking, do you want to withdraw your application or do you want them to take a motion to deny it officially?
If it's denied officially, then in the future, when you apply for an application, you'll have to state that you had a application denied, which reflects poorly. If you withdraw it now, we're not going to take that vote. Does that make sense?
I guess withdraw it, so.
Okay.
Okay, well, the motion dies. Yeah, get yourself in a better place. You can't smoke marijuana and be a pharmacy technician. Even with a card, can't do it. Okay, all right. Thank you. Good luck.
I walked out the door. I was like,
Me too.
wrong.
Back inside. Here's some.
Yep.
Choices of consequences.
Mm-hmm. Nobody else right now? For the benefit of the audience, I can give you guys just a real quick update. Act 630, we're continuing to schedule meetings with folks that request a discussion with us about the implementation of 630. We do not have any applications at this time. What I've told most folks is once we get applications, especially if we get them early on, kind of like now or in the next couple months, it'll give us a chance for the board to look at those applications to identify any additional information or questions that they have before a decision or to go ahead and make a decision. Whenever we have applications, I'll let you guys know. Act 624 still sitting on, there's a federal injunction. I know there's an appeal going to Eighth Circuit on that federal injunction. At this time, we're just sitting, waiting, and watching to see whatever actions happen from that. So we, nothing to implement at this time with the injunction, and we'll keep you guys posted on that as well. Act 52, we are giving our monthly reports about the opening and closing of pharmacies. The number overall has been fairly flat in Arkansas. I'm happy to provide you guys those reports anytime you want to look, but our numbers right around 737 for in-state pharmacies. The out-of-state numbers are continuing to grow, largely because we just approved a large batch of reciprocity folks that we had some applications there. We have, I want to say it's half a dozen hospital retail permits that are going through. I think we've approved a couple and have, I think, 3 more that are in the process of scheduling pre-opening inspections for their campuses. That's really about it. The other numbers are pretty flat. I've got some information I'll give you guys a copy of, just preparing for the future discussion about emergency kit changes. We did have a meeting with the Long-Term Care Association folks and have some of the kind of requests and reasoning of what they would look at. So I can go ahead and give you guys a copy of that so that you can start thinking about it for our February meeting. Anything else renewals? We did a system update and upgrade on renewals. And one of the things that we tried to do that would really help pharmacists caused us a bunch of issues with the system, and that was uploading everyone's CE. So when you would log in, you would see all of your accredited CE right there to be able to check off the box. That process to load everyone's CE took way longer and had to have a couple of restarts or pulls and restarts because basically an upload would be incomplete and it would show I had my 24 CE, but not my 25 CE. We had a few issues like that. Our main issues right now, as far as I can tell, are of 2 varieties, and we've tried to stay ahead of it as well as we can with posts on Facebook, some guidance on Facebook in our pharmacy group. But I think number 1 is for people who've never built a profile with our system, they're having to build a profile and it sends from basically a Microsoft verification to verify your email address. And many people's spam filters or junk filters are filtering that out. And so it's saying, no, if you don't have a spam filter, look in your junk filter. If you've got both, look in both. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, there's the email. And sometimes it takes it 20 or 30 minutes to get through as it's clogged up in that. The other thing is we have like 3 questions for pharmacists. Do you want to renew inactive so you don't have to show CE? Do you say I have all my CE that's going to be in CPE monitor, or I have all my CE, but not all of it is nationally accredited? So I have a CPR class that I'm going to try to claim the 2 hours, or I've got some AMA PRA category 1. So you check one of the 3 boxes, but people will fly through and just go check, check, check everything. And when you check all 3 of those boxes, it basically glues an inherent conflict in the system and locks it up. So we've made a request of, can we make this where you can only possibly check 1 box? But similar to what Dr. Jolly was saying earlier, it's like, please read the question. Because if you check to go inactive, you're telling us that you don't have your CE or that you're not planning to use your license when you renew it. And that is not what most of these people are meaning to do. So we have some other issues on the facility side where if you don't remember who has the attached profile of the facility, we have to manually attach it or help straighten that out if you can't remember what email address you sent it to.
So John, does it link directly to CPE?
It is, so it's actually, it doesn't link directly to it. We are getting constant updates, like I think on a nightly basis, of everyone's CE in CPE monitor.
You get a flat file or something from CPE, or they do.
Yep.
Like at midnight, and then that gets uploaded at some point. So the lag time could be 24 hours, maybe.
Generally, yes. The biggest lag time on CE is.
I'm going to be specific. That's 24 hours of when it gets recorded in CPE monitor.
Yes.
Because there's also a lag time between when you complete it and when CPE monitor gets it.
Yes. The providers have up to 60 days to load your CE into CPE Monitor. So if you do a bunch of programs in December, it may not be loaded till February. So you could check that second box. I have completed all my CE, even though you know it's not loaded yet. But we've, for years, tried to advise people, pay attention to CPE Monitor, because if it's getting close to 60 days since you went to the drug summit and you don't have credit loaded, like you need to contact whoever put on that thing. Like for drug summit, we use UAMS CE office. If it's pharmacist letter, you need to contact pharmacist letter and say, why is this not loaded? Because it needs to be in CPE Monitor or else you didn't really get credit. So
When I read those 3 boxes, I got that there's a progression.
Mhm.
But it also seemed that it would make more sense to put the most common in first.
I do not disagree with that, but I don't want to break something else in the system by reorganizing it at this point.
It seemed very laborious compared to other states.
I would agree with that. We have had some very frank conversations about it.
But the system is up and running.
The system is up and running.
And that is the critical issue, is at
Yes.
one point, maybe last
Well,
week or the week before.
We held it.
couldn't renew.
Yeah, we had, I mean, there was a soft opening that we didn't announce, which gave us time for some folks to basically, folks just found it was open and went through and did it. And we found some hiccups. And when we found out that the CE thing, and there's another tool, like we shut it down before it created more conflict for us. And I had different friends reach out and said, for all these people that I know always procrastinate, everybody sure is excited to get their renewal done early this year. I was like, well, I would probably agree with that. I can't remember what the specific numbers. I mean, we're well over halfway through the pharmacist.
That's because we're.
Yeah. Since it's not available, I need it.
Hey, don't wait till the last minute to renew this year.
Yeah.
I've been told that. But at the end of the day, is this system going to be more efficient for board staff to be able to verify CE? I mean, are we gaining some additional functionality we hadn't had in the past?
I think part of what we're doing is really adding a couple of things. And one of them is we've had people for years attest that they have their CE, and then we do a CE audit and we have $80,000 in penalties for people that didn't have it, including some people had 0 CE at all. So it's trying to help with the transparency for people renewing, saying, hey, if I say I've got it all in CPE Monitor, well, the board only has, like, first time I pulled up said I had 8 hours. And I'm like, well, CPE Monitor says I have 55.5. We've got an issue here, because we were, beta testing ourselves, and then found out there'd been an issue with the upload. So when we fixed that and went back in, it showed I had 55.5 hours, which is what CPE Monitor shows currently, even though I've got a bunch more that's waiting to be fed into it. So people should be able to see when they renew, I'm short. If I check the box that I've got it and it's telling me that I'm short, like, I'm creating my own conflict, and it's also telling me I have to get it by the end of the year. But we've tried to tell people it works way better on a computer than on your phone. And I mean, I went through with my wife. She was ready to renew hers, and I still haven't renewed mine because I'm continuing to use it to, when someone tells me that there's something wrong with it, I'll log into mine and see if it is actually actively working for me or not. But on hers, it just appeared differently on your phone, and we were able to identify some of those issues. So it is.
Scan a post on
There is.
Okay.
I thought I had. I thought when I said like the top 4, I'll go back and look. I may not have pinned it, but it'll pin it on top.
5 posts.
Oh, I know.
It's not working.
Yeah. 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 I see it when, as an admin on it, I'm going, someone goes, hey, is this not working? I'm like, there's literally 4 conversations going on this, and I cannot answer every one of them individually. So some people, I would say, there are a couple people like, hey, I'm trying to update my address and it doesn't show it's updated. I'm like, well, it's got to process it. Like, it's not a immediate thing. And then I'm like, well, when did you move? July. I'm like, well, technically speaking, you were supposed to update your address in July. When did you move? When I got married? I'm sorry, I wasn't at your wedding. I don't know when you got married, and it had been like months. I'm pretty sure I sent in something. I'm like, no, you did not send us anything. There's nothing in your file about you moving. And we had one that it was like, it does not recognize me. And I realized the person has a different name on Facebook than they do in the Board of Pharmacy. So I put up like, here's what the Board of Pharmacy has in your name. Oh, I thought I'd updated my name when I got married. No, like you might have gone to the DMV and done your driver's license, but you have to also update your name here. Or if you have a hyphenated name, we've had that. People go, well, I don't want my name hyphenated. It's like, well, you sent us paperwork to hyphenate your name. And if you do a license verification, it shows you exactly what name you're under with the Board of Pharmacy.
How's the functionality in the new tool with rosters?
I'd have to ask Jennifer. So that's part of what we're trying to, with the updates that we've done, it'll have some other functionality that'll be very helpful for us. Some of our ability to retrieve specific information or reports is better than it was for us, especially some of the legislative stuff we're having to do right now.
Well, isn't the ultimate goal to get to where permit holders can
update their own roster?
Reconciliation
Yes.
of the roster.
Yep. Instead of doing it on inspection or sending us big sheets to do it, it'd be way better for everybody. I'm guessing that our other 2 10 o'clocks are coming. Yeah. Any other questions you guys have about any of that? I think we can take a break till the next person shows up. I'll go print those sheets for you.